Somebody said they didn't like doing mask 1 because it needed a lot of pinning and maybe ironing. So I'm going to show you how to do this without any pins or ironing at all. All right, so I've already, and this works, by the way, if you're using the elastic, or like I've got these ties that I need to do on some of them. So basically first fold over your fabric, wrong sides together. Okay, now I've already just kind of inserted that one little piece of elastic so it just matches up and it's just right there. You can't see it. Okay, I've stuck this under the machine at the 5/8 mark on my machine, and I'm going to sew my line until I need to stick the other end of the elastic in. So let me get there. Okay, so I'm here kind of near the other side. I'm going to peel back the fabric so I can see my elastic. I'm going to make sure I don't twist it, right? And I'm going to put it right where I need it. And I know about 5/8 is about the size of the width of my thumbnail. Okay, so I'm just going to picture that that's where it's going. I'm going to put my elastic there, fold down the fabric again, and then I'm going to sew 5/8 from the corner. Now I already know on my machine board here that there's a line that I know is 5/8, so I'm going to stop there. So let me get there. Okay, so I know on my machine when I get to this little line, when the fabric gets there, I'm at 5/8. I also want to feel that my needle is past the elastic. Okay, leave the needle down, flip up the presser foot. Okay, spin. Okay, you're going to line it up. So you're going to come down the edge again. Now make sure you're not going on the elastic. Okay, you're going to sew only about halfway down. Then you're going to lift up, leave your space so you can turn the fabric and put it down and sew all the way down to the corner, 5/8 from the corner. So let me get there. So here I've come almost halfway down that open side. I'm going to do one back stitch. I'm going to lift up my needle, lift up my foot, push the fabric enough so I know I can turn it again. I'm going to put my foot down and then start sewing again just till I get to 5/8. And again, I know where that is on my lines here. Okay, leave the needle down, lift up your presser foot, turn your fabric 90 degrees. You're going to get your elastic again, and basically you're going to kind of open up the edge here, stick your elastic in, so it's right where I've got it right now, but, sorry, right here, but underneath that, in between the two green layers, so hold on. Okay, so you can see I've tucked the elastic inside, it's hanging out a little so you can see it there. I'm going to put down my presser foot and I'm going to sew about halfway, 5/8 inch from the edge. Now the reason I'm not sewing farther is because I got to get my fingers in there to grab the other end of that elastic and make sure I don't twist it, right? And then I'm going to pull it so it comes right there, and then I'm going to sew straight off. All right, so I've reached in, I've made sure my elastic is coming down. It's ready to be sewn over right there. And I'm just gonna sew straight off. Okay, and then I've got a nice thread cutter there. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it inside out and show you what to do. Okay, I've got it turned inside out, and this fabric is thin enough to where it kind of lays flat and I can just crease it with my hands. Okay, so I don't need to iron it. If you had something super thick, you might want to. But what we're going to do is we're going to put the side that has the two sides sewn together, and it has that hole that you just turned it inside out on. I'm going to come down that side first. So give me a second. And I'm just going to go, instead of 5/8, I'm just going to go where my needle is, and I'm going to line my fabric up with the center line. So it's like 1/4 inch or maybe even a little bit smaller. So here I've got it lined up with my pins, and I'm going to stitch a couple. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go all the way around this thing, so I want it to stop and start there. I'm going to make sure everything's nice and flat. Okay, so then I'm just going to sew one-handed all the way down. And I'm going to get my needle within, 1/4 inch of the edge there. I'm going to lift up the presser foot and rotate. Now here's where you're going to do the pleats by just pinching the fabric and folding it over, presser foot down, and then come over it. Okay, and you're going to do 3 of those as you come across. I don't think I can do it with one hand. So here I've pinched the fabric, I've folded it over, and I've started stitching. Now while I'm still on top of that lump, I'm going to find my next pinch of fabric to make the second pleat and fold it. And sometimes I need to keep the needle down but lift up the presser foot so when I fold it, it can kind of tuck under there. Okay, and then presser foot down, come across it, and then you should have room to do one more here. Okay, and then I'll meet you down at the corner. Okay, so I've gone over my 3 pleats that I'm making. I'm going to the corner, going within my 1/4 inch, keeping the needle down, lift up your foot. Okay, turn 90 degrees down, and you're just going to go straight all the way down. Okay. Okay, so lift it up, keep the needle down, rotate. Okay, so you're going to try to match over here the 3 little creases you did. So kind of look at the space here and aim for that being your kind of first top of your fold. So you should be able to fold and just tuck under on this one. Make sure you're folding the same way. Okay, and then put your presser foot down, sew over, pinch the next one, etc. And then you get to the corner. Okay, so I've come down my corner trying to match my pleats. I didn't even measure, I didn't pin, and I didn't iron, because when you wear this, it's going to stretch out anyway. So once you get to your corner, make sure you do a couple back stitches. Okay, and then you can lift your needle, lift the presser foot, and then you can cut them up. Okay, so then you can see this one came out perfectly fine. If you do want to iron, you can iron at this point. For the next one, I have some fabric ties that, this is a kind of fabric, it's like nylon or something, so you cut it, kind of like when you cut a t-shirt fabric, it's not going to fray, so I didn't have to sew these, but they're super wide because they're 1 inch wide. If you have bias tape, you'd already have it kind of thinner, but because this is wide, I'm going to fold these when I sew them so that they don't take up the whole side of the mask. So basically we're going to do the same thing as we did, fold over our fabric, find where that corner is, then lift up the first layer, place your first tie in there, okay, and then put your fabric back down and sew down most of that side. Hold on. Okay, so I've just folded the fabric, lined up the corners. Again, inside there's the first tie on the corner. I'm going to sew at 5/8 inch. So just lining it up, presser foot down, and sew most of the way down. Okay, keeping in mind that I'm going to turn the corner at 5/8 inch. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put in the next tie underneath there, and this one again I'm going to have to fold because it's so wide. I'm going to place it under there and I'm going to measure with my thumb that it's not going to be that close to the corner, and then I'm going to sew down to the corner. Okay, so under here now I've got the tie with a thumb's space to the corner. Okay, I'm sure with 2 hands you can line this up better. Okay, and then here we go. Make sure you get off of the tie with the needle because you're going to rotate and sew down. Okay, so I'm going to get one more stitch. Keep your needle down, press your foot up. All right, now here you kind of want to lift this edge up and get your tie out of the way because you're going to sew about halfway down that edge. Just like we did with the elastic one. Okay, so press your foot down. Halfway down, you can do a back stitch if you want. Needle up, press your foot up, give yourself some space, and then put it all back down. And sew to within 5/8 of the corner. Keep the needle down, press your foot up. Okay, so here's where you got to lift these up tuck these ties that you already sewed all the way in so that they are out of the way and you're not at risk for sewing over them at all. Okay, and now you're going to get your next tie ready, and you're going to stuff it in there and pull the edge out and get it lined up in between the fabric here, right there under the needle. All right, I've got it in there. It's kind of lumpy. I want to make sure the ends of it are all tucked in to the middle. So I'm going to come down, not all the way because I got to get that other one stuffed in there. Okay, so I'm going to stuff my last tie in, and I'm going to line up my tie inside between the green right here in the corner. And then I'm going to sew all the way down off the edge. Okay, I've sewn all the way around, just leaving that hole to turn it. So I'm going to open it up, turning it, and then lay it all flat and do the edges and the pleating as I did with the other one. Hope that helps somebody.